Hey everybody, welcome back to the Uncultured Whiff. All right, so finally, you had to know this was going to happen in the fragrance world. There's one fragrance everybody knows of. It's probably had more dupes made of it than any other five you could find combined. That's Creed Aventus. So we had the original right here, just straight up old Creed Aventus. It's been around for a hot minute, 15 years to be exact. Nothing really touches it. Uh, well, my bottle is not new. It's been around for about two bottles 8 years ago. Yeah. And this is the cologne, which oddly enough, I like better than original Aventus, just a little more fresher. So you kind of have the new one now, Absolu Aventus, which kind of gives you the other side. Think of it this way. You got your office Aventus. You got your go to dinner Aventus. You got your dark mysterious Aventus. All smell so similar, but we come into that thing where Creed became a company that got absorbed by a company that literally that's what they do. They absorb companies that make money and they find ways for it to make more money. And the only way to make more money on fragrance is to, unfortunately, use lesser quality stuff. So for the last couple of years, Creed's been a punching bag because their stuff isn't lasting anymore. It makes sense. You know, you take someone who specializes in taking these awesome boutique companies and turning them into designer fragrances, but still want the boutique money. It's very, very crazy. But the lineage for Creed, it does it, man. People pay it. So here's what's really funny. Back in the day, when Creed was Creed, you'd never be able to do this. Discounters had this before Creed was shipping it out. So I got it thinking this is probably a shaft job, right? So my buddy got his literally from the Creed boutique. He paid $545. Sucker! I paid $318. Yeah, still a lot of money. But you look at it like, ooh, how do they compare, right? Well, one, the bottle is a little smaller. That is a big bottle because it comes in one size, 2.5 ounce. Obviously, we don't need to talk about what company absorbed them. The box tells you everything. It's 2.5 ounces. The least you're going to pay for it, unless somebody got it and is like, I don't want it, which I don't understand because this is the first Creed I've smelled since the takeover that has been done right. It's great. It lasts really, really long time. Most people have been only getting 6 or 7 hours out of their Creed fragrances, which for the money they want for them is unacceptable on a lot of levels. It's also kind of funny that you can get this from a discounter before you can buy it from the actual boutique, which is hilarious. And yes, my badge code is the same as my buddy's, oddly enough. There's no difference in smell, no difference in performance, no difference in packaging. It's the real thing. Like, everything matches up. So, yeah, why buy from Creed? Just don't do it. They're not going to give you nothing. The company that absorbed them, I'm not going to say their name because they have a tendency of squashing people because they're dicks. But yeah. So what do you get? You get alternatives to the niche ingredients that they're not bad. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying you still be in charge as if it's a niche fragrance, but it's got the same thing as a lot of the elixirs that are going around right now. Quite famously, in my bottle, I don't quite have the same wheelhouse, and neither does my buddy. Neither one of us understood why they said Sauvage Elixir. Kind of, that's what it smells like. I don't get that at all. What I get is, like I said, go to the office, go to dinner, you're going out, you're out in the town. It's a little darker. It's dense compared to these two. and it's dense in a very good way. So the one thing they don't say is in it is pineapple, but it still smells like Aventus. So this is where you come into that whole, now we're getting accords instead of having actual stuff, right? So the note breakdown goes as such. It's going to sound like I'm reading off something by Boss Bottled. Grapefruit, bergamot, blackcurrant. That's your opening, which you kind of get it. It's very zesty, fruity. I still get that pineapple scent, but it's nowhere to be found. And no breakdown on the internet does the same thing about pineapple, but you still kind of get that pineapple scent. And it could be just the way everything is mixing itself together again. They've been duping this Aventus profile for 15 years. Like, literally, every 2 days is a new dupe. No one gets tired of them. And none for nothing, I've tried all the dupes, and none of them are as good as that right there. But also, the dupes are close enough that I'll pay $35 before I ever pay what I paid for that again. That will never happen. Now that I've been doing fragrances for a while, I will never, you can write this down on paper, ever pay what I paid for that. Hell no. I'll get buried with that one. I paid for that stupid bottle. It's great stuff. I love it, but all right. So you get into your middle, you get a really good ginger note, and then it quickly gets absorbed by cinnamon, which is an interesting twist. Usually it's the other way around. You'll get your cinnamon first, but you kind of get that ginger. You get that little, like, I don't know, almost like a dirty smell that you get from ginger. Not dirty in a bad way, but like a dark smell, right? Like a dark ginger. And it comes into that cinnamon. Sort of like another fragrance that's really good at that, if you're familiar, is Spice Bomb EDP. Or Extreme, whatever you want to call it. It kind of does the same thing, except for some of the scents that are in there that kind of tossed around a little bit, right? So you get some citron and some cashmere. So it's still got that very spicy element to it that gives it, like I said, the kind of that denseness, that nighttime thing. And then as it quiets itself down, which is many hours later, by the way, you're going into a pink pepper patchouli vetiver, ending like you do with every other boring fucking fragrance you can get at Macy's. But it works. It lasts a long time. It smells amazing. The price of it is absolutely stupid. And myself and everybody else included that bought a bottle of this should be embarrassed. Granted, the payment plan through some of those discounters is pretty sweet. Yeah, no interest makes it possible to have cool shit, right? But yeah, there you go, man. It's good. It's really good. I like it. I'm glad to have it. Nothing's really as good as the original for me, but it is better than the cologne. Although I prefer the cologne as far as wearing it over the original, because the original is kind of like, you go nose blind to it real fast for some reason. And I don't wear Creed because I don't want to smell it. I have a lot of fragrances. Some of them I can't wear. They're new, but I love to smell them. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. So everybody's like, are the sprayers any better? I'll tell you what is better. Freaking cap stays on. And it weighs a ton. It's metal. Yeah, no more plastic caps. So, of course, they got black on black, and I'm blind as shit. Oh, come on. This isn't the time. All right, there we go. So here we go. A little spray in action. Great sprayer. I could smell it all day. I'd have no problem. It's amazing. I mean, there's a reason why Aventus has been so popular. It's when they made that, it's just perfection. It's wonderful. It's a little boring at this point because, like I said, everybody makes a dupe and other fragrances have kind of stolen the platform. So, what do, right? What the fuck do you do? Nothing. That's what you do. Nothing. All right, very cool. Subscribe to my channel, man. It helps. My other channel got shut down because I said some bad words that people didn't like very much, and I was just trying to be funny. But I guess in fragrance, you're not allowed to have a sense of humor, which is a bummer. Because a sense of humor is an awesome thing. Anyhow, I'd say get a decant, try it yourself. It does smell fantastic. It's like Aventus grew up. That's the one thing I do agree with a lot of the reviewers, is it smells like Aventus grew up. Is it worth the money? I'm going to say yes, because you're getting good longevity out of it. I'm getting a good 10 hours out of this thing without even trying. It sits on me good. I catch great smells of myself throughout the day. Other people noticed it like, oh, wow, this is really good. It's like, yeah, I know. Like, I haven't been able to say that about a Creed fragrance in a minute. Again, it's dumb expensive. Someone will have a dupe of it next week probably, and it won't be exact, but it'll be close enough, and it'll probably be $30, $40. And the advice I can give you is don't buy it from Creed Boutique. One, that's a shit show at this point. When that company got bought, it lost its way fast. It almost happened overnight. And it's becoming very ordinary, but very expensive. I'm glad to see that they did produce something that belongs to what I consider the brand Creed. But what's next? I mean, they're going to remake Green Irish Tweed and be like, oh, we need to make this so it at least lasts 10 hours. People leave us alone. Because the last bottle, my buddy was late to the Creed thing, so he just bought a bottle 2 years ago. Yeah, a little over a year ago, of Green Irish Tweed, and that thing lasts maybe 5 hours. He was pissed. Now I would be too, because he buys from the boutique, which is stupid. Never ever buy from something that's called a boutique, because that just means give me extra money. Always go to discounters, no matter what you're buying. Unless it's from like a small perfumer that handles stuff in-house. Yeah, go see that guy yourself, but stuff like this, I'm sorry. $500 for a bottle of scented piss doesn't really make sense to me. $300 don't make fucking sense, but at least, yeah, it's a hobby. It's not drugs. I think drugs would be cheaper, to be honest with you. But yeah, great fragrance. I give it 9 out of 10. Pretty good stuff. It fits in with these. Like if you had to do it for like time of day, you get your morning, your dinner, and someone's touching my wiener. Yes, mate. I'm not supposed to say stuff like that anymore. Got in trouble last time. But I can't help myself. Sometimes you just gotta say it. All right, very cool. Again, subscribe if you would. That'd be awesome. And I will catch you in the next video. All right, later.